This is a relic from the spear of Longinus, which pierced the side of Jesus. Longinus is not mentioned by name in Scripture, but his name comes to us down through tradition, and he has been canonized for his key role. In fact, there is a statue of him in the basilica. But it is also important to note that the relic at the Vatican is not the entire lance, but part of the spearhead. There are, however, a couple of other claims elsewhere. Another fragment, missing from the Vatican's relic, is found in Paris. And then there's another one, a third in Vienna, which is displayed in the imperial treasury at the Hofburg Palace. And this is where it becomes more interesting, for Hofburg Palace once had a frequent visitor named Adolf Hitler, who was said to be obsessed with this supposed relic and was said to have lapsed into frightening moods while standing before it. However, it is important to remember that this particular relic, the one at Hofburg Palace, is probably not authentic. And this spearhead is long, black, and tapered. While it is natural to ask which is the authentic one, the Vatican's, the one in Paris or the one in Vienna, whatever the case, staring at it, some kind of force obviously captivated Adolf Hitler then. In its presence, Hitler was said to fall into what can only be described as demonic ecstasy. Standing in front of the relic, his face would flush and his brooding eyes would shine, so to speak. He swayed on his feet, and his whole physiognomy and stance apparently transformed, as if some mighty spirit now inhabited his very soul. Hitler knew there was some kind of great evil attached to the relic. He says as much in describing one visit to this beloved object, a visit that seems to have included the apparition of a demon at the museum. According to Hitler himself, the air became stifling so that I could hardly breathe. The noisy scene of the treasure house seemed to melt away before my eyes. I stood alone and trembling before the hovering form of the Superman, a spirit sublime and fearful, a countenance intrepid and cruel. In holy awe, I offered my soul as a vessel for his will. Was this, then, the final spark igniting one of the most brutal holocausts in recorded history? Might Hitler have been in touch, not with St. Longinus, but with the evil that killed Jesus, and now sought to kill other Jews, at least 6 million of them? On 13th October 1938, under Hitler's orders, the lance was placed on a special train and taken to Germany under SS Guard, which was then housed in St. Catherine's Church. But as we know, 7 years later in 1945, the game was up for Hitler and the German army, and the war was nearing an end. American forces located and took possession of the lance just 2 hours before Hitler committed suicide on April 30th, 1945.